Odd streaming hours, I know. The plan was yesterday to stream, and of course, as always, things came up, so now we're streaming today, this morning. If you haven't noticed, I did commit some time last night to update my format. I realized it was not helpful when posting a VOD if I didn't have any chat. So now there's chat in the top right. So if you say something, it'll pop up there. And ignore Stream Manager on my phone. It just started playing my audio for some reason. But yeah, that's the gist of what's going on. Hopefully today we're closing the case on this. I didn't check how many chapters are left because I don't know, I'm stupid or something. But we should be wrapping up. So let's just jump right into it. If we finish, guess what we're gonna do after this? Probably stop streaming, such as a separate VOD. And then I may be playing either Halo Combat Evolved, the original, or if my fiance doesn't want to play that because he's been tired lately, we've had a lot going on, then we may play Vintage Story or Fields of Mystria, because I know Fields of Mystria is exiting early access soon, so I want to get a jump on starting that streaming soon. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about the Mermaid Mask. Enough about stream schedule, logistics, bleh, who cares? 75%. We're so close. Alright. And last time we were here, we did all of the remaining investigation that was done after everyone was away from their rooms, basically. And we'll kind of cover probably a lot of what we found during this report, so let's just jump right into it.
So what are we looking at? Do you have the murder weapon?
No.
Kinda?
Right, kinda.
Cynthia, maybe you should have fired them.
No, look, listen to me. Mortuga was killed by the mechanism of the iron bell. It lowers onto the cauldron and they fit together. It's a big mechanical lock.
Right, and there's this little metal thing wedged in the side. It's not part of the iron bell itself, but it was placed there. That's how they got in and out without ever opening or closing the bulkhead door.
Okay, they did skip over one of the most important parts of the last investigation, which I'll just cover really briefly, which is we found out that there's a hole in Mortuga's captain's room. So whenever the rug is moved, the bell can be lowered via a pipe lever in the illusion theater, and then it locks onto the cauldron, and when you press on the sides of the bell, a mechanism at the top spins really fast, and there was a metal piece jammed into that mechanism, and that hit whoever that hit Mortuga basically and killed him. There's some other factors in there, but well, we won't worry about it for now. That's the most important one.
So the murder weapon,
It's a necklace? Felicia Stonetop's necklace.
And it's still missing?
Right, apart from a small fragment that snapped off and was left in the iron bell.
And Mortuga was killed because he tried to take something out of the cauldron?
Take what out of the cauldron?
It can only really be one thing. The one thing that all of this has been about.
It's gotta be the mermaid's ton, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. I don't know what else it honestly could be.
The mermaid's tongue.
Zephyr did not look happy about that. Oh, yeah, this is a cool atmosphere. I like all these different shots they're doing, because the first one was really chaotic, and now that we've kind of revealed this weird thing that's at the center of this whole mystery, everyone's gone completely quiet and not still, but they're like less animated.
The mermaid's what?
It's a kind of ancient artifact. Mortuga found it on a sea voyage years ago.
Right. The same voyage captured on this film reel and depicted in this bottle.
Captain Felicia Stonetop and her helmsman, Magnus Mortuga. They went off into the ocean on a ship named the Dearest Selena.
And came back with a mermaid's tongue.
And that's what Mortuga kept in the cauldron?
But it was empty. It's been empty since we discovered the murder.
Quite right. If this mermaid's tongue came out of the cauldron, where's it been this whole time?
Well, we found it in Dr. Zephyr's cabinet of curiosity.
Did you? Fascinating.
But what is it? What does it do?
I believe it was in the catalog. Yeah, this. And I think it was literally... Yeah. This part.
The mermaid's tongue, said to facilitate communication with she who lies beyond the veil.
Requires a special key to operate. Huh.
A key? What kind of key?
Wait, facilitate communication? What does that actually mean?
It's a translator. When worn over one's head, the mermaid's tongue allows you to commune with the mermaid. Thus the name tongue, referring not to an appendage, but to the language spoken by the mermaid.
How nice.
Anyone gonna tell me who the mermaid is, or...
By the way, kind of embarrassing. I just now connected what Zephyr just said. This whole time I'd been like, is it made of like the mermaid's tongue or something? Like the mermaid's mute? Because no, it's just the way it's the language of a person, which is funny because D&D has a spell called, I think, tongues. I think is literally what it's called. And that's obviously referring to language as well. So I don't know why I didn't piece that together sooner. Dude, he's standing in front of the portrait and he's like, who's the mermaid? These people showed up and they clearly didn't study up.
So there's a painting, painted by Selena Stonetop, we think.
And a photograph taken with the submarine's underwater imaging system.
And, why would you need a translator to talk to her? She's not local, or what?
She speaks a language none of us could understand. It is said that attempting to commune with her without harnessing the mermaid's tongue would drive one mad.
But how does it work?
Nobody knows.
Nice. Convenient.
It is a powerful and priceless artifact.
Oh, it's powerful, all right. Look what it's doing to all of you.
I don't know, guys. I'm not sure if I'm buying into this thing. Kind of just looks like some grody old leather mask.
It would be, by the way, the sickest way to solve this whole mystery if we put the mask on and the mermaid told us who did it. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. That'd be kind of honestly fucking insane, but it would be kind of cool. That's because it's not complete, I think is true, because there's supposed to be a coral piece that sticks out of the top of it based on which image? Yeah, there's supposed to be something sticking out of the top of it, which is the coral, I believe.
Just looks like some grody old.
That's because it's not complete.
Yeah.
How do you know?
So this image here, it's a photograph of a drawing. A cropped photograph, too. The good news is, we've got the real thing.
The upper part is from the treasure, because this was found at the bottom of the ocean.
That's not it.
What? Huh? Oh, something that's the upper part of the image. Okay. Really dumb. When have we seen the upper part? This is what I get for not reading for a while. All of this stuff. Not the family photo, not the... Maybe it's on the back of this. Just to make sure. No, no. No. Mm-mm. Oh, that's the driver's license. Was there something on the back of this one? Yeah, there was. Yeah, that's a Stone Top logo. Corny little skein. He's so cute. None of those. Whoa. It's the other part of the scroll. Yep. So it's...
Nope.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to exit that page. I don't know how else to do that. The bottom part of the ocean map. This is the upper part. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just open it. That's top. This is the bottom. I didn't know what they meant by top image and bottom image. That's should have been a little more obvious. And then this part is the bottom. Yeah.
It turns out the ocean map shows what it's supposed to look like.
The eyes are 2 blue jewels, which are from this. The eyes are these gemstones. And the head is the coral. I do genuinely think Tadpole did just randomly find this. I don't... Well... Maybe. Because wait, she said that she found this... This would have been something that was found at the bottom of the ocean. And it was in a locked chest. I don't think Tadpole locked that chest. So... I think it's fair to assume that... At one point, the pieces of the mermaid's tongue just got split up on purpose by Mortuga. That's my guess.
Oh, sure. Just help yourself to the stuff in my personal treasure chest. I don't mind.
That antenna, is that coral? It looks sharp.
It is, and it's hard, like crystal. I'm pretty sure it explains the scratch marks in the cauldron.
But why did Mortuga keep it locked in the cauldron?
Oh, wait, yeah, because the coral was in... So why on earth did Tadpole have it? Okay, that's something that I'll have to maybe understand better in a bit. But interesting. I didn't think about that. Maybe it's because the cauldron a long time ago, because that's where they initially found the mask. Scratched it up, they brought it up to the surface, took it out, and then it got separated later, and then the tongue part got thrown back in. Possibly. We know he was able to unlock it because he did it. Direct sunlight would have destroyed it. No. He wanted to just hide it, yeah.
Because he wanted to keep it hidden from everyone. The mermaid's tongue being on board was a secret Mortuga was keeping. The cauldron was covered by the sailcloth and locked in the storeroom, and Mortuga wanted to keep it that way.
It's true. When he saw my poster, he told me we had to keep the cauldron covered up.
Why the cauldron, though? Wouldn't it have been less conspicuous if he just kept it in a wooden crate or something?
Keeping the mermaid's tongue in the cauldron wasn't something Mortuga came up with himself. Even before he ever found it, it's just where it's always been kept.
And this would have been... that.
There it is. See?
Yeah.
In the cauldron, beneath the iron bell, beneath the wooden buoy.
But that was a long time ago. How do you know the mermaid's tongue was still in the cauldron at the time of the murder?
Well, Tadpole told us about someone she saw on the aft deck shortly after the murder. She described it as a demon, with a single horn and glowing eyes.
The culprit, wearing the mermaid's tongue.
Yeah, I will say... The one... I guess you could revisit them at any time. For me, personally, if I were to make any changes to the game, I think being able to just simply have these retelling segments as their own clues in the menu, that's something I would do, because throughout this entire time, I've been having a lot of trouble since the first hour of the game recalling. Sorry, I had a little bit of gas. Ever since the start of the game, I've been having trouble recalling exactly what happened during people's different alibis. Because I think, in my experience at least with video games and with direct detective stories, alibis are always like the biggest giveaway of who's telling the truth, who isn't. So, yeah, I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings on how that bit was executed. I think if I were to do this game slightly modified, I would have put these alibi is in a separate clue category that you could access from the menu anytime.
Right. We figured they'd just taken it from the cauldron after killing Mortuga.
So the culprit knew about the mermaid's tongue, knew what it was, knew how to use it.
Definitely.
But Mortuga never really told us about any of this. How did the culprit know about it?
Creator of the mermaid's tongue. Yeah, no way. There was a third person on the Dearest Selena voyage. Yeah. Because we saw in the video, there was a person in the background who didn't want to be in the video or something. It was behind a door peeking out. I think it's Grips, personally. Because Grips had been enlisted to make the map. And then Grips was the navigator for their original ship, because the only people on that ship was Felicia Stonetop, who is the captain, Magnus Mortuga, who I don't know what he's doing. I think he was like a deckhand, probably. Not a deckhand in like a bad way, but he was probably doing more of the heavy lifting kind of things around the ship. Because they explained he was like super strong or something. And then Grips was probably the navigator for him, because they needed that map to find the mermaid's tongue. Yeah.
Because they were the third person on the Dearest Selena voyage.
The third person?
In addition to Magnus Mortuga and Felicia Stonetop, I assume.
Right. It was a crew of 3, not 2.
And what evidence have you collected to support this?
Evidence? Let's see.
I don't need evidence.
Mortuga's film reel.
It's... There's a buddy. Hi, friend. Yeah, because Felicia was recording.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Spooky.
Let's see.
I do feel bad for Wormman and freaking Dirk, because I feel like they showed up and they're just like, I was just here for a good time and shit just went down. I don't think either of them are involved in it, like, at all. But it is very funny that they show up on the ship and literally like 2 days later or 3 days later, Captain falls down dead. Like, ugh. Audio recording.
Audio recording of Mortuga opening the black box.
What recording is this?
I really don't know why you're here. This doesn't concern you. Even if it does, it is wholly unrelated to our unfortunate voyage.
Mariana was not the third person. I wholly doubt that. Talking to the third person. It's either talking to or talking about. I think it's talking to, though.
Mortuga is talking to the third person from the voyage.
Is he? I only hear the one voice.
It's these stupid handheld radios, because they're dog.
Before it reached Mariana's pipe, the audio was transmitted from the cabin to the control room by these radios. Only they're faulty, or one of them is, at least. It turns itself on and off every few seconds. The cadence happened to line up with the conversation, so you only get Mortuga's half.
That's a bold way. That's a bold fault for the radios to have, because I don't know. From a tech standpoint, typically the more likely explanation would just be the receiver on the handheld radios just wasn't good enough. That makes more sense to me than saying, oh, the radios just dropped every few seconds. To be fair, they are underwater, so kind of makes sense the radio would not be very good, but
Huh. That's quite the coincidence. Personally, if I'd written that, I'd feel guilty.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Mr. Werman.
Yeah.
Let's see. The ship in a bottle. The ship in a bottle rattles when you shake it because a model of someone else is hidden inside the ship.
I knew there was something in there.
I was talking that whole time.
Someone.
Muted.
Well, there we are. Quite a bit of evidence as it stands.
All right, but does any of that tell you who it actually is?
Potentially, yeah.
The it's not the door opening in the background because we can't see enough of the person. The remarks aren't super helpful. It's probably the ship when it just rattles.
The ship in a bottle rattling when you shake it.
We can just pull the guy
Wait,
out.
the model person inside the ship? There's a way to work out who it is?
I can think of a way.
Let's do it with logic and reasoning, shall we? First, we'll compare the ship in a bottle with Mortuga's other wooden model.
Yuppers. Let's pull out the model town.
The model town. What about it?
It's specifically the people who aren't in the town. Group would have been in town.
People who aren't in the town.
What do you mean?
Mortuga and Felicia aren't in the town because they're on the ship. Selena too, I suppose, since she's the figurehead.
I don't think they're who she's talking about.
It's important to remember that the model town is specific to Mortuga's life. When adding the model figures, he only included people he had dealings with. And he only detailed the buildings he was familiar with. The rest are just generic blocks. With this in mind, there's someone else who should be here, but isn't.
It's Baroness Fortuna. No. Dirk Danson, no. Zephyr and him weren't affiliated because Zephyr was traveling a lot, I think is what he said. It could be Worman. It'd be crazy if it was Worman. But it is possible he was but he left and then came back. So it's totally reasonable Worman wasn't in the town because he never was affiliated with Mortuga and he was out of town at the time. So no, because she was a kid. No, Symmetry was a kid. I think it's Grip.
Mortuga made a detailed model of Grip's shop. It's not a generic cube like everything else, which means there should be a model of Grip himself. But it's not there.
But why would Mortuga include Grip in his model town? Did they know each other?
And if they did, how did Grip end up going along on Mortuga's ship?
It's the ocean map that specifically Grip made. This one. Tee-hee-hee. Okay, I was just on it.
There's a sticker on the back
There
of
we
the
go.
map. It's a service record from Grip's shop. Mortuga hired Grip to interpret the ocean map, which he did. But Grip didn't ask for payment in money. Instead, he asked to come on the voyage.
This isn't proof. Not really.
Well, there is one thing we could
Do it. If you don't, I will.
I love Tadpole. I think she's kind of awesome. What's the best way to break a ship in a bottle? Dropping fragile technologies. Dropping glass on it? No. I think we dropped the box.
Mr. Grip being on that ship isn't actually evidence that he murdered Mortuga. What about the murder weapon? What happened to it?
Right. Nor is this evidence that he used the mermaid's tongue.
So, I'm gonna probably spoil it now. I kind of knew when they gave us the broken compass, or when I looked back at the broken compass after we determined it was the necklace. I I knew immediately it was the broken compass has part of the necklace in it because there's a spoke on it that looks so similar to the end of the necklace that I think there's no doubt about it. I think that's exactly what it is. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what it is.
Wouldn't he have needed that special key?
Evidence that Grip killed Mortuga and used the mermaid's tongue. Grip still has the murder weapon is true. Has the key for the mermaid's tongue. I don't know about the mermaid's tongue one.
Grip still has the murder weapon. Let's look at this again.
Oh, so he also has the key to the tongue?
Mr. Grip, what about the
Right.
murder?
Nor
I did
would he have
not
needed that special.
realize that.
Grip still has both the murder weapon and the key.
I don't know what the key is for the mermaid tongue. I'm gonna be honest. But I do know that right there is the necklace. Ah, it's the key for the mermaid's tongue? Okay.
I guess this is it.
I'm gonna get a little quieter in this part because I feel like it's gonna get a little moody, so let's be chill.
Plot the unplottable, chart the unchartable, measure the unmeasurable. A hollow promise, such feats belong not to mortal hands. But after years of fraudulently offering this to others, I began, in earnest, to yearn for it myself. A quiet desire to journey into the unknown, to quantify it. A lifelong coward, I could never convince myself to act on it. I tell myself as an excuse that I never had any kind of opportunity to act on it. Until one day, I did.
It would be this.
Mortuga sought me out,
Yeah.
sought out my services. Not because we were friends, but simply because I was the one with the skills to interpret that inscrutable map of his. Sensing an opportunity at long last, I refused financial payment for the work. Instead, I asked to be brought along on the ensuing voyage. Mortuga was surprised by the request, but he ultimately agreed to my terms. Such was his desire to interpret the map. The work was done, and so we went. Despite my bold intentions, I mostly found myself sheltering within Felicia's cabin during the voyage. All the while, she and Mortuga stood around on deck looking windswept and heroic, far more at home on the sea than I. Regret reared its head. Regret over inviting myself into their world. From within the cabin, I sat and listened to their conversation. Felicia was telling Mortuga what they were looking for, what they were hoping to find.
The mermaid's tongue, right?
Did Felicia know what it was before she found it?
Somehow she did. Her description to Mortuga was thus: a mask worn over the head. It facilitates communication with an ancient being of eternal mystery.
That's really how she worded it?
With the right contraption in your pocket, even the great unknown may be quantified and calculated. And here it was. Not a map, not a compass, but a communication device. translator.
Hmm.
Besides knowing what it was, Felicia also knew how to find it. How its location in the ocean would be marked with a wooden buoy that glows with green light. We waited. Night fell. But before long we were indeed signaled by this very light, and the buoy was sighted. Mortuga hauled it up, pulled it all up, right onto the deck. It was heavy, but he was strong.
That would be the cauldron.
The bell and the cauldron locked together to form that single shape. Mortuga went to unlock it by himself, but Felicia cautioned him against it. She warned that it could be dangerous to stand so close, as the mechanism would be surely powerful. And so they unlocked it together, taking a handle each. Felicia took the mermaid's tongue from within the cauldron.
Did it have the coral and the gemstone eyes?
Yes, they were attached.
And what about the necklace?
Felicia had it around her neck.
She'd come prepared, clearly.
Did she use it?
Yes, I watched her do it. She used the necklace key to wind up the mermaid's tongue and placed it over her head. Felicia spoke through the mask. Her voice was changed. The mermaid was summoned. Entranced, I rushed out onto the deck and leaned over the side. Mortuga clambered up to the wheel in an attempt to steer us away from harm. The mermaid reached out and grabbed the wheel.
And Mortuga's right shoulder?
Yes, of course.
His fingerprint mark.
Mortuga held fast, but a portion of the wheel broke off and fell into the ocean. With her other hand, the mermaid grabbed the mast, almost snapping it in two. The ship buckled and I was thrown off the side into the ocean. I was underwater, but I was held in place by a hand, her hand. She was speaking to me, but it was a language I could not understand. I wanted so much to understand. Sensing the disconnect, she let go. A moment passed, a lifetime. I became vaguely aware that I was about to drown, but I didn't want to leave. At this moment, the broken piece from the ship's wheel floated up in front of me. By its intervention, I was reminded of my earthly existence, my life beyond this singular moment. I was overwhelmed with a cowardly desire to return to the surface, to see the sun, to live, to breathe. I grabbed onto the broken wheel and let it carry me up to the surface. The mermaid was nowhere to be seen. Neither was the dearest Selina.
Wait, the wood from the broken wheel.
Became the cane.
It eventually became Cornelius Kane.
Correct. It has been my earthly tether. The feel of the wood in my hand, a tangible reminder of that desire I once felt to live and to breathe.
But what happened? Weren't you stranded in the ocean?
Somehow the currents carried me back to the Silkworm Coast. I took the broken wheel piece back home and fell into a deep sleep.
Whew, yeah. I am bummed that one of my theories is possibly not true, which I had made the joke theory, but kind of serious theory that Selena Stonetop was the mermaid all along and that she turned into her at some point or something like that. I think I said initially Felicia, but one of the Stonetops is the original mermaid. So yeah, bummed about that. But yeah, let's jump into this next section.
After I awoke, I went looking for Felicia.
Not Mortuga.
No, Felicia.
Felicia had been the one wearing the mermaid's tongue.
Correct. Given what I knew of its function, I surmise she may have understood what the mermaid had said to me. I went to the Stone Top Inn, but Felicia was not there. I searched through the empty building until I came to Mortuga's room. I was encouraged to see that he had at least retained the wooden boy and the iron bell. Mortuga was in his bed, asleep. He looked ill, weak. I woke him up. I asked him about the mermaid's tongue. What had happened to it? Where was it? At first, Mortuga said nothing. He merely looked at me. He told me that he and Felicia had locked it away in the cauldron and thrown it back into the ocean. He said they'd kept the wooden boy so that nobody else would ever be able to find it, and they'd kept the iron bell so that even if someone was to come across the cauldron, they wouldn't be able to unlock it. I was horrified to learn this. My only chance of summoning and communicating with the mermaid lost beneath the waves. Or so I thought.
Did you ask about the necklace key?
Mortuga hadn't mentioned it, and I did not ask about it. At that time, I simply assumed it had been left in the mouth of the mermaid's tongue and thus would be in the cauldron. I demanded that we take the dearest Selena back out on a second voyage to recover the sunken cauldron. Mortuga said it was impossible. For one, the dearest Selena couldn't recover it from the bottom of the ocean if it was not attached to the boy. And secondly, Felicia had decommissioned the ship and it was being taken apart at the shipyard. In explanation, Mortuga handed me a folded piece of parchment.
I was totally under the impression that Felicia died during that voyage, so that's interesting. Not the morning. Is it the morning envelope? I think it's gotta be this.
That's not it.
Well, okay. Oh, the thing that looks like it's on the table is the Indeed.
It had inscribed a note from Felicia. She was to be leaving town immediately. She did not say where she was going.
Oh.
Mortuga told me he had slept through Felicia's parting visit. He was distraught over it, heartbroken. With a desperate look, he asked me if Felicia had also come to visit me on her way out of town. I told him yes, she had. Mortuga's eyes opened wide. Did she say where she was going?
I must know. I have to know.
I told him yes. Yes, she told me where she was going and she'd given me the address. His eyes widened further. Give it to me.
I need to know. I'll go after her.
I told him I would, in exchange for the mermaid's tongue. Mortuga told me again how it was impossible. There's no way.
It's lost. You need to let it go.
I didn't want to hear it. I left the inn still clutching the deeds. I went down to the shipyard and spoke with Donovan Drummond. He had begun taking apart the dearest Selena. I inquired about purchasing Drummond's unused submarine, the Seafoam submarine. He told me he would be willing to part with it, but it had never been finished. In order for it to be seaworthy, it would need several new parts that would take a long time to build. However, I was determined to find a solution.
The bottom one, that was being decommissioned.
You offered to buy both the Seafoam submarine and the dearest Selena.
Correct. I suggested we could use parts from the sailing ship to finish the submarine. Drummond merely asked how I was going to pay for 2 vessels. I showed him the deeds to the Stone Top Inn. He accepted it as payment.
Is the inn really worth as much as 2 vessels?
Oh, so that's where that comes back, because they said in the command contract, including the additional paper we found, that it was basically incorrectly traded. The deed was not a proper exchange, basically. And that makes sense because in this case, Grip took the deed, handed it over on behalf of Mortuga without Mortuga's permission, even though the inn was under Mortuga's ownership at this point, I believe.
Perhaps not, but in truth I think Drummond was glad to have an excuse to part with them. Besides, I knew all too well the allure of a worthy challenge, a chance to put one's skills to their fullest. Indeed, the task of combining the two incomplete vessels into a single seaworthy one was highly intriguing to him, and so it was done.
But if you commissioned it, why was it called the Mortuga submarine? Who painted that on the foredeck?
Drummond did. He didn't want it to say Seafoam any longer. Too many painful memories.
But why Mortuga and not Grip?
Grip paid for it with the Indeeds, which were
Because Grip
Mortuga's.
paid for it with the Indeeds.
I feel like all three of those
which were
sound
in
kind of the
Mortuga's
same.
name.
Right. Drummond assumed I was merely acting as intermediary for Mortuga, the true buyer.
Did you tell Mortuga what you'd done?
I told him of my intention to return to the ocean in a submarine I was having constructed. He wasn't happy about it, but the submarine took months to complete. That was enough time to convince him to come with me and help search for the Mermaid's Tongue.
He only came with you because you were pretending to know where Felicia had gone, and you were withholding it from him.
Correct.
What were you going to do if and when Mortuga realized you'd been lying to him?
It was worth the risk. There was no question of leaving the Mermaid's Tongue at the bottom of the ocean.
But it wasn't lost in the ocean. Mortuga had it the whole time.
Correct. As I had lied to him, he had lied to me.
Just 1 second, I'm gonna step away. Sorry about that. I got a puppy who is on medical leave, so just had to do a quick check on her. A gathering of hapless travelers.
Mortuga smuggled the Mermaid's Tongue onto the submarine before we left. He didn't want to leave it behind, but he didn't want me to know he had it.
Smuggled? How?
I mean, I get it, but that's not quite right.
Mortuga sent me a letter, inviting me to join him on the submarine.
Grip, did you know he'd done that?
Mortuga told me he was going to bring somebody else on board, an old friend, a collector of occult curiosities who might be helpful. But I didn't want anyone to know what we were doing, or what we were looking for. I told Mortuga not to mention me in the letter.
I followed Mortuga's instructions precisely. I arrived in Silkworm and went into the Stonetop Inn, where I found the locked cauldron. I placed it among my possessions and ventured onto the submarine waiting in the harbor.
We departed. Zephyr thought he and Mortuga were the only two souls on the ship. I stayed hidden for a week before staging a balloon crash and pretending that Mortuga had rescued me from the ocean. That way I was free to move around the submarine in view of Zephyr, but he could dismiss me as a hapless traveler picked up along the way.
So to begin with, it was just you three.
But it didn't stay like that for long.
It didn't.
Wait, so Grip was just scurrying around like a little rat for a week on the submarine and then staged a balloon crash? I don't even know how you stage a balloon crash, but details, it's not a big deal. I just think that's funny. I think this looks right. Grips being crashed his hot air balloon, and then argued with Mortuga about navigation, resulting in the broken ship wheel. Oh, I can flip the cards? Oh, shoot. Okay, so we'll read each of these. So, Grips crashed his hot air balloon into the ocean, and then argued with Mortuga about navigation, resulting in the broken ship's wheel. That's what he told us, but in reality, he commissioned the submarine as a way to search for the Mermaid's Ton, and was with Mortuga when he opened the black box and discovered the necklace key. Well, I guess both those are kind of true. That second one, not so much. Symmetry was invited to work alongside Dr. Zephyr in the Dream Chamber, performed a mermaid act. Mermaid act. Too many M's. Too many M's. She performed a magic act for Mortuga, which appeared to make him miserable. Was invited on board to be the resident illusionist. Was asked by Mortuga to perform a magic act in the Illusion Theater. Zephyr was asked to smuggle the Mermaid's Ton onto the submarine. Stole the Mermaid's Ton from the airlock and put it in his cabinet of curiosity. Came across the submarine by pure chance. Was asked by Mortuga to keep the Mermaid's Ton safe in his cabinet of curiosity. Okay. So, some of these are truer than others. Okay. So, I think we have to flip them so they're true. So for Grip, he commissioned the submarine and then was with him when he opened the black box. That one's true. Symmetry was not invited by Zephyr. Was she? Oh no, she was, but it was to work in the Dream Chamber. And then she performed a magic act for Mortuga, which appeared to make him miserable. She wasn't asked by Mortuga to do that. She just did it on her own. Zephyr was asked to smuggle the Mermaid's Tongue onto the ship. Was asked by Mortuga to keep from the airlock. I think he stole the Mermaid's Tongue from the airlock. Tadpole. I don't think she was kidnapped. That's insane. Was saved from drowning by Mortuga, I think is true still. Offered to take over. Was hired by Grip to kill Magnus Mortuga. I think Mariana was... Oh, it's so interesting because See, Mariana's is the complicated part, right? Because the only alibi for Grip during the time of the murder was Grip being with Mariana Moon, which means that I think she was hired by Grip to kill Magnus. I think Cynthia... Yeah, that one. Worman received a letter explaining how to access it. Dirk was sent to spy on Worman. Cynthia just wanted ownership of the submarine. Oh, these Marcus Mordoom and Magnus Mortuga being like the same starting letters. I flipped this card and I thought it literally said the same thing on both sides. It's like there's no way. Yeah. Okay, I think this is all correct now.
Well,
Nailed it.
that's about the long and short of it.
No,
What?
you can't leave it like that. You've left them with misconceptions. You should tell them what you know, all of it.
What do you mean?
Misconceptions?
Maybe one or two, yeah.
This one with Tadpole I think is correct, so let's confirm.
He always did think he would make the best captain, and he did want to leave.
But he couldn't. Not without the information he so desired.
Not just that. Since it turned out he had the mermaid's tongue on board the entire time, I don't think he wanted to leave me on the submarine with it.
Valid. Sorry, I'm just making sure. In case you're curious, folks, if you've never used Stream Manager, when you leave it open for too long on your phone, the stream just pauses. So I have to, every once in a while, refresh it to make sure it's actually working.
He didn't want me anywhere near it.
He was trying to protect you.
I'm aware.
I don't think that's right.
Really? Sought out the submarine to reclaim ownership of it. Mortuga wrote a contract which she found after his death and forged his signature. Cynthia became captain because of the contract, but it has another page that we discovered inside. Was it not inside the black box? Was it inside something else? Well, it's true that Mortuga didn't. It would be.
So, who was
Yeah.
it for?
Okay. I didn't realize that. I can't remember where we find the other page of the contract.
Me. Once Mortuga found out the inn deeds had been used to pay for the submarine, he realized for the first time that he was its legal owner.
He really hadn't known that before?
No, he'd always assumed I paid for it with my own money. Armed with the new information, Mortuga attempted to use it to control me.
Thus, the command contract.
What exactly was he hoping to achieve?
To strong-arm me into telling him where Felicia had gone, and to cease my search for the mermaid's tongue.
But it didn't work.
Of course not.
Wasn't Mortuga supposed to be paperwork averse? I'm surprised to learn he would try to control someone with a contract.
Where would he even get an idea like that?
That's my bad. I ended up telling him all about contracts, you know, what they are, how they work. I guess Mortuga thought if I could be controlled by a contract, maybe someone else could be too.
Worman was sent the handwritten letter. Let's see. Vincent Van de Peer. Maybe? I don't know about that. He'd hoped Worman might have information about Felicia Stonetop. I'm not sure if it's Selenia or Felicia. It's these, yeah. Because if I remember correctly, something that was established during the sequence of suspicion for Worman was that the handwritten letter included details about where to find the submarine that literally no one else could have had. The only other person that I thought maybe could have had it would have been Grip, but Grip's not even an option. So he sent it, hoping to get Worman onto the submarine. He'd hoped he'd have information about Felicia because Worman's father had been acquainted with her. I didn't. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't know. I guess Felicia is older, so she probably would have known about. She probably would have been acquainted with Damien Dusk.
Wait, so Mortuga wrote the letter?
Not exactly. It was his idea, but he wasn't one for writing by hand, so he asked me to do it for him.
But why Ibis?
Mortuga didn't want to reveal too much in the letter, so he had the idea to pretend to be a neutral third party. We learned about Ibis from that newspaper page, but it just needed to be someone you would listen to. Honestly, I'm surprised it worked.
Huh. This explains why Mortuga kept asking about my father.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that.
Were you able to tell him anything?
Afraid not. I haven't spoken to my father in years.
Do you think he would have known anything about Felicia? About what happened to her?
It's possible.
I just spoke that entire time with my microphone muted. I'm just goated like that. But yeah, I think Damien Dusk had the morning letter, so he knew Felicia died because that was in the black box. The black box was got from the mayor's house, and the mayor is Damien Dusk. I think that assumption's fair. It's either Felicia or Selena, I think, who is the one who's referred to in the morning letter, but we don't have the letter, so we don't actually know. Symmetry. Watching Symmetry perform. It was the stargazing girl. Did not make Mortuga miserable. He was already miserable because he had just found out. He had just found the morning envelope, which informed him that Felicia had died.
See? I told you. You didn't make him sad. He just learned about the death of his beloved friend. What I did, it was...
You didn't know. Symmetry, let it go. Your anguish. That goes for all of you.
Mortuga's actions, his decisions, all motivated by that same singular desire.
It was all in effort to locate Felicia Stonetop.
Her.
Likewise, it transpires that Godric's actions were also motivated by a singular desire.
To commune with the mermaid.
Her.
And when they opened the black box and found the morning envelope, found the necklace key, it all came to an end.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, open it.
Godric, I really don't know why you're here. This doesn't concern you.
I bet it does. I'm to believe the box may contain information on Captain Stonetop.
Even if it does,
It is wholly unrelated to our unfortunate voyage.
I'll be the judge of that. There could be anything in that. Listen.
I prefer you not to shake it like that. Besides, it doesn't open that way. It slides out at the side. Let me do it.
What's all this? A scroll? An envelope?
There's something inside. Wait. What's this?
We both know what that is. That's Felicia Stonetop's necklace, isn't it? Isn't it?
Oh, that's tough. I'm still very suspicious of Mariana. I'm very, very confused by her sudden show up, and I'm very confused how she plays into the alibi that Grip claims to have.
Our discovery of the necklace precipitated two important conclusions. One, we now possess the key necessary to operate the Mermaid's tongue. In my complacency, I had not even known it was missing, simply assuming it lay within the cauldron. But no, Felicia had taken it away with her, and now, through what twist of fate, it had returned. Which brings me to conclusion two. The fact that her necklace had been sent to her parents in a black-rimmed envelope attested to us that Felicia Stonetop had died. Even through his burgeoning grief, Mortuga could see in my eyes how I wished to make use of the key. Fearing what ruin might follow should I act, he did what he had always done. He lied. Lied about having the Mermaid's tongue on board.
He had your best interest at heart, Godric. We both know this.
However, it was a lie that no longer worked on me, for I had laid eyes upon the truth.
The truth?
About what Mortuga had in the storeroom.
It would have been Symmetry's illustration because it shows the cauldron.
Correct. I had seen Symmetry's drawing of the cauldron.
He asked me to change it. I was going to change it.
So now you had everything you needed. The key, the bell, and the mermaid's tongue itself, albeit locked in the cauldron.
On that note, I had also surmised Mortuga's reason for rigging the iron bell onto a winch above his desk. I concluded that he had set it up this way so that he could unlock the cauldron and access its contents himself.
You think he wanted to use the mermaid's tongue?
You'd like to suggest Mortuga would be immune from such things, hmm?
I concede it may have been an alluring prospect, but actually choosing to act, it displays a dangerous hubris.
Well, maybe he just wanted to be able to get to it, but not actually use it, you know?
Grip, did you actually accuse Mortuga of wanting to open the cauldron? Of wanting to use the mermaid's tongue?
I did, and he flatly denied it, which caused an argument. Truth be told, we were both sick of each other. The last vestiges of our mutual decorum fell away. He attempted to shut me down with cold logic, insisting that it was not possible for one man to simultaneously turn both dials on the iron bell.
Wait, is that true?
Depends how big your arms are. If you're yoked, then yeah.
Kinda. Depends how big you are, how wide your arms are.
I knew Mortuga would be capable of it, and I could see in his eyes that he intended to do it.
Well, not to side with Grip here, but he was right. Mortuga did open the cauldron, didn't he?
Perhaps his intention was simply to move the mermaid's tongue to a newly contrived hiding place.
Maybe he was just gonna destroy it.
As he should have done years hence, I might add.
Grimoire, what do you think?
This is difficult because this is very motive based, and we haven't actually spoken to Mortuga. But I'm leaning towards saying I think he wanted to use it.
think he wanted to use the mermaid's tongue?
Whatever the reason, I knew it was only a matter of time. And what's more, following our discussion about the mechanism of the iron bell, I understood the specific physicality of the task ahead of him.
Physicality?
In order to reach both dials, Mortuga would need to hold his body close against the iron bell. His head, his neck, would be right up against the mechanism.
Overcome with frustration and grief, Mortuga had left the room. He had left me with the necklace key. I felt it in my hand, the metal cold and sharp. I climbed up onto the desk and wedged it into the iron bell around the back so that it would not be seen. At least, not until the mechanism activated.
You're a murderer.
Call me what you will. To me, it was merely insurance against continued deception and greed on Mortuga's part. If he indeed decided to keep the mermaid's tongue for himself, if he decided, as he always had, to keep it from me, then it would be his last decision. The rest you know. Having first locked himself in the room, Mortuga unlocked the cauldron and was killed by the blade of the necklace key. I tilted the submarine in order to claim the eyeball key, which granted me access to the captain's cabin and a path into the storeroom from above. I took the mermaid's tongue from the unlocked cauldron.
And then you went up to the aft deck and used it, didn't you?
I tried to, but you stopped me.
You're welcome.
Tadpole then dove into the ocean and collected the pieces.
Including the coral and the gemstone eyes, which she kept for herself.
Yeah, as for the mask itself, I just left it in my room.
And I took it when I later visited the room to collect Hex from the dome tank.
Wow, you're admitting it, huh?
I admit I moved it to a more secure location, ultimately a wise decision, wouldn't you say?
Except it's not there anymore, is it? It's right here.
It's dark!
Oh, shit. Maybe we shouldn't have put the mask together in front of the culprit who wanted it so badly.
Grip turned off the lights.
Someone grab him!
Oh, boy. Still, I gotta say, it is quite funny being Cemetery and Dirk and Werman and even Cynthia and being on this ship and being like, what the actual fuck is going on? Zephyr was like kind of the only person who had like most of the pieces of the puzzle. Tadpole similarly, like when it came to the actual collection of clues and stuff, she actually had all the pieces pretty much. But these guys were like, what the fuck is going on?
The mermaid's tongue, it's gone!
He took it. He must have.
He can't have gone up to the foredeck. It's still locked.
He went up to the aft deck.
What about the aft deck?
Let's go. Maybe we can catch him.
That is unsettling.
He's wearing it.
Are we too late?
I don't...
I'll be honest. At a certain point, you just let hubris be hubris and let the guy go down. Down with the ship. I don't know what else you do at this point. If he's willing to kill for it, and it's probably just gonna kill him, just let him be.
Grip? Are you... Where's he going? It's the compass.
He fixed it.
When did he just now fix this? Is this the guy that good?
What's he going to do? Should we follow him? I don't...
He's locked the door.
Can you see him through the window? This is bad. The pressure change, it's too sudden.
Also, the submarine's made of half wood. Also, poor Cornelius Kane.
The submarine's not...
Wait, what's that?
What do we do?
The radios.
It's fine. Too much. It was too fast.
They must be coming from the control room.
Let's go.
We're being held down. We need to resurface.
The submarine can't take it. The controls are going crazy.
Wait.
What did she...
She's gone.
She let us go.
That was sick.
Remarkable.
Let's just head back to Silkworm, shall we? Get everyone off this submarine.
And, Silkworm would be which way?
We got moved. I don't know where we are. No stars, no moon. I don't know where... I don't know which way north is. He fixed it.
I don't know about you, but I thought that was all very interesting.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
You must be pleased. You've come away with a new story to tell around the campfire.
Quite right.
I'm not sure it would be wise to tell too many people.
No, don't worry. I'll change all your names to protect your privacy.
What are you going to change my name to?
Detective Galathorn.
Wow, I love it.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Sybil.
Yep, this conversation is over.
Aw, I actually kind of like Sybil as a name. Yeah, I need to rewatch, in all honesty. I need to rewatch The Alibi of Mariana Moon, because hers still befuddles me the most, because of the people who I had the impression were the most accounted for during the murder of Mortuga, it felt like it was Grip. So was she just like not observant enough, or was there something I'm missing? Because that part is still confusing to me. It's kind of why I thought all along Grip wasn't the person, even though there were obviously kind of weird indicators that would have pointed towards him being guilty. I will say, I think this story did a really good job with the reveal and with the motives. I think all of that's super duper solid. It is kind of funny how much of the cast is so obviously not guilty. Like, I think outside of maybe early conversations, I never had a doubt, or I never in my mind thought it was Dirk. I never thought it was Wormman. After I spoke to Cynthia, I didn't think it was her. I didn't think it was Symmetry. Really, for me, most of the time, it felt like it was between Mariana Moon, Tadpole, and Grip. And even Tadpole, I felt like just didn't have enough of a motive there. It didn't feel like there was any animosity. I didn't, even when they kind of implied that there was like a fight over, or a request of her wanting to be the new captain, it felt like, and maybe it's just good acting, it felt like it was sincere, right? I was never under the impression that Tadpole was like so broken up over not being the captain that she would kill Mortuga. Which I think is fine, honestly. I think doing a mystery where the motives of your villain basically are obvious, I think is fine. Like I think having parts of it be twists, which I think still some of it was a twist, is how you handle that. And there was plenty of stuff that was revealed during that section that I hadn't thought fully through that were really interesting and really added depth to the story. Like one of the big ones that I didn't even account for was the ship in the bottle. Like I knew something was in it, but I didn't think about the fact that you could compare it with the model town and compare the ship and use that to figure out that Grip was the other person in the ship. That was super smart. I thought that was a really interesting way of revealing Grip's presence in the original voyage. I didn't even think about the fact that Grip being on the original voyage was the giveaway that he was the criminal. Because I did think Zephyr also could have been it, and he had the most knowledge and stuff like that. But I think he was a very good red herring, because there's a lot of factors to how Zephyr was acting that would make you think that he is the problem, basically. That he was the one who killed Mortuga. So overall, I do think, like, yes, obviously, certain people in the cast are immediately write-offs. They're not going to be the killers. But I think that even then, the motives were done really well. The way the reveal was handled was fantastic. I super loved how this was handled. I do want to go back and play through their previous game called Tangle Tower now. And maybe we'll do that later. I'm a little worn out for now, so we're not going to do that for a little bit. We'll play some other games. Because I do have a lot of releases coming up that I want to play through, even if I only do a couple sessions with them. But this was fantastic. This was a great game to do for a first stream series. It's been a lot of fun, but let's wrap up this epilogue and then I'll do a send-off.
You okay, Cynthia?
She's still processing.
Of course. We all are.
That, and we've just been to tell her stepfather that we're leaving Silkworm.
Oh? Where are you headed?
We, haven't worked that out yet.
I know a place you could go.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a couple friends you could stay with. I'll write down the address for you.
Oh, thank you.
Do gotta feel bad for those two, man. Cynthia and Symmetry both being like 18, 19-year-old girls who basically their home / the home Cynthia was trying to reclaim basically getting destroyed. That's really rough.
Easily one of the strangest days of my life.
It's in the top 5, at least.
What are you going to do now?
So far, the only thing I've decided on is to go home and have a bath.
A bath? You haven't had enough being submerged in water for one day?
Okay, maybe a shower.
I think Worman is one of the funniest characters. I love his cynical writer behavior.
Catching up on your text messages?
0 missed calls. Can you believe that? 0.
Devastating.
Love Dirk.
Not
He's
even
awesome.
From Vanderpeer?
I'm writing him a message now, giving him the deets.
A
very selective version of the deets.
Smart.
Worman, you have some great material for your next book, by the way, buddy. Where's Zephyr?
Are you okay?
Yeah. You?
Somehow, yeah. That was the weirdest submarine I've ever been on.
And the last?
And the last. Is everyone okay?
I guess so, huh?
Fit as a fiddle. Oh, sure. Just had my human perspective permanently and irrevocably shifted, but hey, what's new?
But what about Grip? Did he die or what?
I'm gonna say the mermaid's tongue doesn't give you the ability to breathe underwater since there's a mechanism for a key to go in, and I imagine he got dragged to the bottom of the ocean like an idiot.
Seems very likely. But he made his choice. I really don't think it would do us any good to worry about it.
Sally, did you write down that address for us?
Yeah, I'm almost done. Just writing something on the back to help you out.
Oh, like instructions?
Kinda, yeah.
You know, I really must be off.
Ah, come on. You've got nowhere to be.
You're quite right. Nowhere is precisely where I need to be, and I'm rather in a hurry to get there.
All right, that was pretty good. I'll let that slide.
And, Tadpole and Zephyr stayed on the submarine?
Yeah.
Are they gonna rename it?
Of course not. You gotta keep the Mortuga name. It's like his fingerprint on history.
You say that, but by all accounts, he actually didn't like the submarine very much.
That's true. It wasn't his choice to be there. He spent all his time trying to work out how to leave.
Well, yes, all right. I can see that.
I'd say his fingerprint is right here. It's all of you. It's Symmetry, it's Cynthia, Tadpole, Zephyr, everyone he was kind to, everyone he helped.
Dude, that's real.
But what about the mermaid's tongue?
What about it?
Well, we still don't really know anything about it. How it works, who made it.
Good.
What?
It's good that we don't know. It's right. The mermaid's tongue is a shameless shortcut, a trap for the impatient and the dissolute.
But you don't want to know what the mermaid said?
Oh, I want to know. But as I stand before you now, I can't know. You understand? That's just
the way it's meant to be.
I am kind of floored that I know why Tadpole stuck with the submarine. I'm floored that Zephyr stayed. Oh. Orman announced he wasn't going to write the sequel to his novel. Dirk was subsequently released from his contract with Wit and Whimsy. Hey, good for them. Mariana Moon, avoiding all questions about where she was headed, simply disappeared over the horizon. She was a mysterious figure through and through. The same PA for Orman and Grip? Crazy. Tadpole became captain of the Mortuga submarine. Zephyr stayed on board to continue his research, newly inspired by what he had witnessed.
You're sure this is the address Sally wrote down?
Yeah, it must be. She wrote something on the back, too.
Oh yeah, what was that? Instructions?
It's a little poem. You should read it.
Me? You're the poet.
No, you read it.
Okay. Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tethers slowly fraying, floating, helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet.
I'm glad Symmetry got rid of her whack hat. Yeah, this game was fantastic. Genuinely great game. I had my... What is that thing in the window? I don't want to know. I had my complaints, obviously, early on, but I think most of them are, like, quality of life things, right? I think, in general, this game, for a point-and-click, has fantastic quality of life. I think some of my bigger complaints come with things like how clues were handled. Like, I mentioned it early on, there's a lot of clues in the game. There's a lot of suspects in the game. There's 9 the people that you can ask questions to. And there's 40 clues. That is a lot to ask of a player to listen through. And that's great because some of it I thought was fantastic, but a lot of it felt very unnecessary. And it's hard at times to tell exactly what you need to ask about. But in general, that's like such a minor complaint. And people who aren't streaming the game, who are going through and having a great time with the story and not trying to go on to something else, it's still fantastic. If I was... how do I put this? If I was like traveling with my Steam Deck or on a flight or something, I think this would be like the perfect game. Because you can really dive into it and spend the time going through all the clues and getting yourself super immersed in the story. I still definitely felt that way, even doing what I would consider kind of the bare minimum. So I can't imagine how a player who goes through every single clue would feel. Again, I know people watching this have watched me play through the game. They know the twists and stuff. I still think some of the foreshadowing and some of the build up to that final reveal are some of the best parts of the game. So for everyone who, even if you don't plan on playing the game, I think it's worth buying the game to support the people who created it. Or before I play the next one, when they eventually release another game by this company in this format, I want to, I would say go play Tangle Tower. I'm sure that one's fantastic too. I personally don't know anything about it, but yeah, we'll carry on. We'll keep on carrying on. Yeah, I'll probably make a tweet or something before I play another game. Maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow. Not sure exactly when, but I'll keep you all in the loop. Have a good one. Hope you all enjoyed.